Cha, good afternoon everybody. Hello, how you guys doing? How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Did you have did you rest properly? Did you have fun? Did you do something special, but always keeping it safe? Someone turned the microwave on at home so the whole thing froze. Okay, hi, Kiwi is here because the microwave is working again. So, hi! Oh, I'm so excited. Like, all right, so I need to kind of apologize because it's not that today I don't want to be calmed down, but it's been a particularly exhausting Monday. And I am so excited for this part of the Shāh-nāmeh. Hello, Duika, shalom. Guys, it was Pride Day not so long ago. Where are our Gilgameshes? I want the chat fill with Gilgameshes, wearing the beautiful Pride. Hello, Elena. The beautiful Pride fan. That is it's such a nice emoji. So yeah, I was saying that today I am very tired. I am very exhausted because it's been quite an exhausting Monday, although the weekend was great, but it's been quite an intense day. But I want to be pumped up because today we're going to be covering possibly my favorite part of the Shāh-nāmeh. Also, I want to make a disclaimer to myself. Every time I say something is my favorite in the Shāh-nāmeh, I am excluding Simurgh, because Simurgh, she just plays on her own league. She cannot be categorized or put into any kind of tag or anything. So yeah, every time I said that something is my favorite, I am referring to, of course, excluding Simurgh. She's always in my heart. She's always in my head. So today, finally, we reached it. Is it possible that the entire Book of Kings is your favorite part? Not really. I mean, I am willing to accept there's parts inside the Book of Kings that are very, very boring to me, like quite boring and not pleasing to read because they're, I don't like every character as well. Like, you know, for example, last time we covered the reign of Jamshid, and I expressed that I don't like Jamshid, but today we finally are gonna read the reign of Zahhak, which, by the way, let me tell you something about him, because oh my god, no, I'm doing everything wrong today. So yeah, first and foremost, thank you for everybody who's subscribed. Hello Nukas, thank you to everybody that's clicked follow and subscribed to the channel. You support me with your subscriptions and help me carry on with what I do, with the streams, with all the beautiful sessions we have here, and for that I am very grateful. Also, warm thanks to my patrons who were the ones who chose this topic. So remember, if you choose to support me on Patreon, there is a chance you can vote for the next for the coming live streams, for the content you wish to see. So go check my Patreon, go just give it a thought. Maybe you want to become part of the family. We are growing very slowly but very steadily, and I'm very happy with that. We have good fun on Patreon. I want to thank my patrons, would need to say that for me, but yeah, definitely good stuff happening on Patreon. Also, special thanks to my patrons of tier: Murshid, Lucas, David, Nadim, Sofia, and Raul. And Angel, who I don't know if he comes to the live stream, but he's been there from the very beginning, and for that, Angel, I am very grateful. Hello Typhoon. So yeah, that being said, let's move on to the real important matter, which is not the Book of Kings. It's tea. And once more, I'm gonna take the opportunity to just show off my amazing Scott glass, because I just love it. And with this one, with this particular tea, let me just zoom it a little bit so you can see it and you can appreciate its true beauty. Cheers. This is so suitable for today's session. Let me tell you, so suitable. What am I drinking today? So I finished it because there's a little, I have a lot of like tiny bags of tea that I need to finish at some point. And this one is so good when well made, which it is in this case. It's so good and so tasty. It's called peach soda. And it has apple pieces, hibiscus, cardamom, rose petals, rosehip, peach, and orange peel. It is such a ride of flavors. I think out of the 4 I have that can be served cold, this one is by far my favorite. I really like. And look at this color. Look at these beautiful. Oh, you can actually see the shade of red it actually has, and it's such a funky tea because it changes color very fast. So when you first pour the boiling water, it looks blue, then it turns into a really soft shade of purple, and it finishes with just pure red like blood. And today we will be drinking from the skull of our enemies, because finally we're covering the reign of Zahhak. I cannot express everything that I say is going to be insufficient, because I cannot stress enough how much I like this character. I love this character so much. He's definitely my favorite character in the entire book. I love Zahhak so much. And there's a really interesting thing about his name. So when you write down his name, it spells in one way, but I've heard Iranian speakers and other people call it in different ways. So you can say Zahhak, you can say Zahhak, and you can say Zahhak. But all 3 of them mean the same. It's the same name of the same character. So I like Zahhak a lot, like saying Zahhak. But if my Persian teacher, if she says Zahhak, I'm going to say Zahhak, because, you know, she knows better than I do. So here we have it. Here this is on my lap, the Book of Kings. I am so excited, guys. I really wish, you know, the excitement kicks in at some point, because I am a little bit tired. But our mark, just gonna leave it here with me. And you know the drill. If this is the first time you just came here, you're listening to a live reading of the Book of Kings. We have covered 2 parts, and this is the 3rd one. So if you're interested, I recommend you to go to the other 2, because there's a very big chance I won't be stopping in, you know, like basic stuff right now. Although you can ask questions all the time, you know that. But yeah, if you want to know what exactly it is about, just go check those videos, and then you can watch this one later. So, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for this? I'm so excited. So let's do a tiny bit of recap. I don't know if you remember, but last week we stopped exactly at the moment where Jamshid's reign took a wrong turn, and you know, he thought a little bit too much of himself, and then for the first time in the history of humanity so far in this book, Jamshid lost the far, which is the glory and the right to rule. And now he doesn't have it. No, he doesn't have it. So that means, again, to the south, shadows are gathering. And that is a reference to Lord of the Rings, if anybody was interested. So yeah, we are now going to the land of the Arabs, because Zahhak has something. He's an Arab. There's so much to cover in this stream. I don't know where we're gonna get to, but let us start with the reign of Zahhak. But first we need to read again. I'm gonna reread the part where Merdās is introduced. He's here is Zahhak's father. So in those days, in the land of the Arabs, there was a good and fine king who sighed with the fear before God. His name was Merdās, and he was a man of great generosity and justice. Each of the herds he had entrusted to his shepherds numbered 1,000, whether of cows or Arab horses or goats or milk-giving sheep, and he freely gave milk to anyone who needed it. So the symbol of giving milk is a way of expressing generosity, like very, very extreme generosity, because that means you're sharing something that was considered basic, which is milk, either from sheep or from goats. So when you say about somebody that they share the milk, you're just introducing a very generous character who is willing to share even the most basic things they have. In this case, it's contradictory and very interesting because Merdās is Arab. And if you remember something about things I said previously, is that the Arabs have not a good reputation in the Shāh-nāmeh just because they are Arab. And in here, Merdās doesn't. He is actually a very nice character. He's a righteous man. He fears of God and he follows his the precepts, and yeah, he's like generally a positive character. But there is always a but. This righteous man had a son whose character had very little kindness in it. This is me doing the chaos dance. He was an ambitious youth named Zahhak, brave, turbulent in his mood, and of evil disposition. Something very bad to say, like just introducing the character and you telling your readers, you know what, this guy is evil. He cannot be saved. He cannot be redeemed. He's just a bad person. I like that. Everyone called him Bibar Asp, a Pahlavi word meaning 10,000 horses. Do you remember when we covered the 10,000 everything? Because he had 10,000 horses, and we already established that was, oh, thank you for the follow. That was absolutely impossible to have like 10,000 absolutely nothing. Well, maybe 10,000 cups of tea. That is possible. So he spent most of his days and nights riding them, not into battle, so it's much to demonstrate his wealth and greatness, because Zahhak, so long calling him the wrong way, Zahhak is a show-off creature. He just wants to show off. His wealth and greatness. One day, and if you know something, is that every single great story starts with one day. One day, at dawn, Iblis appeared before Zahhak, presenting himself as a friendly well-wisher, and the youth was charmed by his conversation. Iblis said, "First, I want your promise that our talk will be confidential, and then I will tell you what I have to say." The young man greeted him kindly and answered, "This is Zahhak. I will tell no one about anything I hear from you." Iblis, who is Iblis? So, in the first chapter, we talked about Ahriman, which is Angra Mainyu, which is the dark or chaos spirit from Zoroastrianism. Iblis, however, is an Arab word, and Iblis is a synonym for Satan. Iblis is the devil himself, who went to see Zahhak because he knew he was of evil disposition, so that means his ears would be open to whatever he had to say to him. But he wanted to make very clear everything they were going to discuss was going to be confidential and secret, so nobody could hear about Iblis's advice for Zahhak. So our lovely protagonist of the day received the visit of Satan himself in disguise of an old man. Iblis said, "Listen to my advice. No one but you should be in charge here. With a son like you, why should an old, worn-out father go on ruling for so long? Take this place. You're the person best fitted for this position. If you listen to my advice, you will be the ruler of the world." Zahhak heard him out and considered his words. But the thought of shedding his father's blood troubled his heart. There is still some good inside Zahhak. There is something still there. He said, "This is wrong. Give me different advice. This is not something I can do." So basically, Iblis is seducing Zahhak with the idea of the throne, not only of the land of the Arabs, but the throne of the world. And by doing that, in order to do that, he has to kill his father to put himself on the throne. But now, Zahhak is still young and there is still light inside of him. There is this spark, this tiny little spark of something good. It's about to be out very soon. Exactly, Kiwi, not for long. So he says, "Give me another advice. I don't want to do that." He's just, Azizam, he's refusing to kill his father. Iblis said, oh my God, the devil is always so smart. Iblis said, "If you don't follow my advice, you're breaking your promise. And you'll stay as a wretched subject, and your father will stay as a ruler." And so, Iblis led the Arab into his trap, and Zahhak decided to obey him. He said, "Tell me, how do I do it? What's the best way to accomplish this? Don't make excuses now." And Iblis replied, "I will take care of how it's to be done. Your head will rise in heaven like the sun." So, I don't want to think that Zahhak was easy to convince, but he was. He's just been seduced by the devil himself. Because the devil, let me tell you something, if there is something the devil is there for, is chaos. Making chaos happen. It's what the devil's here to do. And now, with just his poisonous words and his conversation, he's convinced a young man who loved his father, he's convinced him that the best option for him to access the throne is to just sweep her father literally out of there and kill him. And this is very, I like the part here where Iblis says that if you don't follow what I say, you're breaking your promise, because it's just look how sneaky and cheeky the devil is. Before starting speaking to Zahhak, he made him promise he will do as he spoke. Every single thing he said, Zahhak would obey. And now it's we don't take, I don't know about you personally, but society doesn't take much value into the word of somebody. As in, if you give me your word, you've promised me something. There's a chance you would do it, but there's a chance you would not. So if you don't do something you promised me, it would hurt, but it won't be like a major thing in my life. It won't be a watershed in our personal history together. However, in this time, on these days, the word of somebody was one of the most important things you could give. It's not something light. It's not something to be taken lightly, and I'm serious about this. So it is when Zahhak promises Iblis he is going to do as he orders or as he advises, it is real. It's a real deal with the devil. So it's fantastic. Kiwi says probably didn't love him as much as you think. Exactly. Maybe he loved his father, but he loved very, very much the idea of being king, and the devil just promised him the throne of the world. So yeah, I know it's Monday for you, but it's also Monday for me, so oh, never mind. So what's gonna happen next? How are they gonna do it? Somehow Iblis made me think of Palpatine. Yes, we have a very early Palpatine here. So, King Merdās owned a fine orchard and he would go there in the dawn's darkness to wash his head and body and to pray. Don't know if you're aware of this, but Muslims, before they pray, they do some washing. They wash their hands, they wash their face, they wash their feet, because it's a symbolic ritual cleansing of the whole body. Because if you clean your body first, you clean yourself as you clean your soul, and you make it ready for being in the presence of God, because you're going to pray. And again, in this book, remember, unless specified, everybody's Muslim / Zoroastrian, but Muslim mostly. And he goes there in the dark of the night, and he goes alone. And this time, the servant who accompanied him did not bring a lamp. Iblis dug a deep pit there. You know, like, I am the devil, I am digging a hole. And when the Arab king arrived in the orchard the next morning, he fell into the pit and broke his back. Snap! In a second, Iblis has just taken care of the king Merdās. Then Iblis, oh my God, the reverenced man good fortune was at end, and his life departed. He's just killed. Then Iblis filled the pit with soil and went on his way. Like, don't mind me, just doing some gardening. He's a bastard. The noble king had taken pains to bring up his son in comfort. He had rejoiced in him and given him wealth. But his evil offspring broke faith with him and became complicit in his father's murder. I heard a wise man say that no matter how much of a savage lion a man might be, he does not shed his father's blood. And if there is some untold secret here, it is the mother who can answer and inquires questions. So this is not good for our time being, but I'm just going to tell you. In Semitic cultures and in Muslim cultures, the figure of the father is very important, and the bond between father and son, it is very, very important. So if there's something wrong with the kid causing any harm, thank you for the follow, causing any harm to the father, it was believed that it was not the father's fault but the mother's. Of course, I entirely disagree with this, because this is something Islam would bring, because in Semitic cultures, the lineage, like the royalty, was thought to be transmitted by the mom's bloodline, not the dad's. So I told you this book is not perfect, and remember, we're talking about 1010 when this was finished. I want to think we've moved far forward than that. Although if you saw the comments before in the chat box, you wouldn't think so. People, right? So, in this way, the willful, unjust Zahhak seized his father's throne, placed the Arab crown on his head, and became the dispenser of lawlessness and punishment to his people. He is a cruel bastard. When Iblis saw how effective his words had been, he gave some new evil advice, because it was not enough. He said to Zahhak, "If you do my will, I will give you all you could wish for in the world. Follow my orders, and you will be king of the earth. Its animals, men, bird, and fish will be all yours." Oh. This is a fantastic story. Next, Iblis disguised himself as an intelligent, talkative young man, because remember, one thing the devil can do is shift his shape. He's a shapeshifter, so it can change appearance. So before he was an old man, and now he's a talkative young man and appeared humbly before Zahhak. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Iblis, disguised as an old man, has just given Zahhak the most terrible advice of them all, which is kill your father and put yourself into the throne of the Arabs. And Zahhak did as he ordered. And now Iblis said, if you follow my orders, you will be king of the world. The entire earth will be yours. And Zahhak agreed. And then Iblis changes his shape. He just changes his appearance, goes off and comes back in the shape of a cook. But Zahhak didn't know Iblis was Iblis at first, and he doesn't know Iblis is Iblis this time. How cool is that? Yes, exactly. Zahhak is a puppet, but he doesn't know. Oh. Yeah, and he appeared, Iblis in the shape of a young cook. He appeared to Zahhak, which, by the way, if the devil comes in the shape of a cook that offers to work for me, I am doomed. If I am not already, I am definitely doomed. Just going downhill from me. The stomach. You conquer people from the stomach, and Iblis knows. He said, if the king will accept my service, I am an excellent cook. Zahhak welcomed him and had a place set aside for him and gave him the key to the royal kitchens and pantries. At that time, not many foods were known, and there were few dishes made from meat. Remember, this is still very early in time. The new cook made dishes from the flesh of birds and animals, feeding Zahhak on blood to build up his value, as if he were a lion, all the while obeying all of his orders and apparently submitting his heart to the king's commands. The bloody bastard is just pretending to do what the king tells him to do. And he's been like, this is a thing, right? So, the drinking of blood. I don't know much about this ritual, and I don't know if it was done like as a spiritual shamanic thing. But for sure, there's few characters in the Book of Kings, who drink blood, and they're both positive and negative. For example, one of the characters that is brought up by drinking blood is Zal, Simurgh's son. And he's not a negative character whatsoever. In this case, though, the drinking of blood has a very negative connotation, because you are dehumanizing Zahhak more than he could be possibly, more than he could be possibly be. So everyone was vegetarian before Iblis. Not really, but for example, Zoroastrianism kind of, it's not that forbids the consumption of meat, but advises against it. So I didn't know about vegetarianism before, but in here, reading the book is more about not knowing how to cook than being vegetarian by choice, if you know what I mean. It's just that they don't know, but don't worry, the devil's here to screw things up. So, first, he made a dish from egg yolks to make him strong and healthy. Oh, look at that! Iblis just invented tortilla. Not the Mexican tortilla, though, the Spanish tortilla, like omelette. Yeah, it's like omelettes. Yeah, Iblis just invented omelettes. Zahhak ate the dish and congratulated his cook. Of course. I mean, of course, a good tortilla is such a good thing. Yeah. The cook then received a reward for his labors. The cunning Iblis said, "May you live proudly and forever. Tomorrow I shall prepare food which will nourish all your body." He knows he's dooming the poor guy. Then he left the king's presence and meditated all night on the wonderful dish he would make the following day. Could you ever imagine, of all the people on earth, the devil will come to you disguised as a cook? In the morning, the sun's topaz appeared in the blue dome of heaven, Libya poetry, and the cook's heart was filled with hope as he brought in a dish made from a partridge and white pheasant meat. The delicacy here. When the king of the Arabs, Zahhak, sat down to eat, he gave his fool's head into Iblis's hands. He's just... On the third day, the cook made dishes of chicken and lamb kebab, because, yeah, Iblis, it just invented kebab. So kebab is the food of the evil. And and the fourth day of veal cooked with saffron, rose water, aged wine, and pure musk. I am hungry now. Damn it. Like taking over the world one dish at a time. Exactly. The devil's ways. What else? Oh, when Zahhak stretched out his hand and ate, he was astonished at the man's skill. He said to him, "You are a well-meaning man. Consider what is it you desire and ask me for it." Zahhak, no, retreat. Draw back your words. This is not something you want to say. Again, I'm going to read it again. Consider what is it that you desire and ask me for it. Really, dude? The cook said, "May you live forever, Your Majesty. My heart is filled with love for you, and my soul is nourished only by your glances." Socorro. Oh, Dios mío. I have one... Wait. I have one request to ask of the victorious king, even though I am quite unworthy of it. And this is that he will command me to kiss his shoulders and to rub my eyes and face there. No. So, yeah. So Iblis wants to kiss Zahhak's shoulders and then rub his face, like the cheek, and his eyes against the skin of the shoulders. No. When Zahhak heard his words, he had no notion of what the man was plotting, and said, I grant your request, and may your name be honored for it." No. No. Then he said that the cook should kiss his shoulders as if he were his bosom friend. Do you see the sexual tension here? Because let me tell you something. Just this is just me giving you more into the story. Zahhak was a beautiful man. Evil, unjust, not very well esteemed, but God, he was beautiful. He was hot, let me tell you. And of course, Iblis is Iblis. What the fuck does he care? Ooh, I cannot swear on the screen. Sorry, my bad. Oh my God, yeah. The demon kissed the king's shoulders and disappeared forthwith. No man had ever seen such a wonder in all the world. So he kisses the shoulders, like, and then he vanishes. Like, poof, he disappears. And I am going to make a dramatic T-pause here because what's coming is bum. Two black snakes grew from Zahhak's shoulders. In his distress, the king looked everywhere for a solution, and finally he simply cut them off. But they grew again on his shoulders, like the limbs of a tree. Learned doctors gathered about him and one by one gave their opinions. They tried every kind of remedy, but were unable to cure the king of his affliction. Then Iblis himself appeared in the guise of a wise doctor and said to Zahhak, "These growths were fated to appear. Leave the snakes where they are. They should not be cut back. You must prepare food for them and placate them by feeding them. This is the only thing you can do." Yes, follow the devil's advice again. Give them nothing but human brains to eat, and they should die from such food. And what was the evil demon's purpose in offering such advice, if not to empty the earth of mankind? Guys, so let's do a recap. Because he followed Iblis' advice, Zahhak is doomed to have 2 black poisonous snakes, demon snakes, on his shoulders. He cuts them off. They grow back, like, again, the limbs of a tree. Then Iblis again comes to him in the shape of a wise doctor and tells him, "Don't cut them. They are meant to be. They were destined to appear in your shoulders because you were destined to become the demon king. You should feed them with human brains. Oh, and yeah, of course, from this food they will die." Do you really think they would, though? Do you think they would die from that? I have, the plan is so twisted. Yes, it is. And this is where, just imagine, I want you to come with me in this journey, as in, Zahhak is already lost when he promised to follow the devil's advice. However, you can see through the poem and you can imagine how little by little he's withering inside, like rotting, like a flower, like a poisonous thing, just like something that was left in the pantry in the dark, and everything is just destroyed entirely. He's not, of course, the devil must know his own snakes. He cannot be saved anymore. He's lost his humanity entirely. He's not human anymore. He's just a monster. And you can see that the only thing he did for himself to be doomed was trusting the wrong people. I love Zahhak so much. I love this character. And remember, Iblis promised Zahhak the throne of the world. And who do we have in Iran ruling and completely abandoned by the Far? We have Jamshid. Meanwhile, Persia was filled with dissension and revolt. The bright day darkened and men broke faith with Jamshid. His divine Far grew dim and he gave himself to evil and foolishness. Petty kings and their armies sprang up on all sides. Every province produced its own claimant to the throne. And they felt no love for Jamshid. Boy, you really screwed up, Jamshid. A contingent made their way to the Arab lands, where they had heard there lived a terrifying lord with a face like a serpent's. Seeking a king, Persia's horsemen approached Zahhak, because he's the best option apparently. They greeted him as a sovereign, hailing him as the ruler of Iran. How much are they disappointed and pissed at Jamshid that they go to the land of the Arabs and bring Zahhak with them? This serpentine creature, I love that, serpentine creature, I just love that. I'm gonna call somebody that, came to Persia as quickly as the wind blows, and there set the crown on his head. Like, hello, Jamshid, you have been officially, your reign is officially over. Hand the crown to me, and shall put it in my beautiful, gorgeous Arab head and rule Iran from now on. Oh, me and my snakes. From every province, he gathered together an army of Persians and Arabs and attacked Jamshid on his throne, drawing the noose tight about him. When Jamshid saw that his good fortune had deserted him, he fled and went into hiding. He's running away. Not much, not good for a very, nah. Where's your courage, Jamshid? That amazing courage you showed when you tied demons to your throne and made them make you fly over the wall because you really thought you were the sun. This really makes me want to watch The Last Station. I know there is this film, this animated film about this same part we are reading now. It's called Akharine Dastan, which means the last. They translated it as the last fiction, but it's really the last story. Go check that out. It is amazingly animated, and I cannot wait to see that. And neither can you, neither can any of us right now. And this is a command from the Serpent King. You have to be fans of Zahhak at this point, all of you. Oh my god. So, yeah, Jamshid just went to hide in the mountains instead of staying and fighting for his land, for his people, because he knows he's screwed up. He knows nobody loves him anymore. Nobody likes you, Jamshid. Not even I do. When Jamshid saw that his good fortune had deserted him, he fled and went into hiding, grieving in darkness, abandoning his crown and throne, his sovereignty, armies, and wealth to Zahhak. Where was Jamshid's 50-year stockpile of weapons? Now they are Zahhak's. Can you see how pitiful is this on Jamshid? He's literally one of the greatest kings in the Shāh-nāmeh, and this is where ambition has led him to go hiding in the mountains, scared in the darkness, without allies, because he just didn't know when to stop. A very big pity, if you ask me. Not really. I like Zahhak much more than I like Jamshid. For 100 years, careful here, for 100 years, no one saw him anywhere in the world. Well, then, this infidel king reappeared on the shores of the Sea of China. For some reason, Jamshid just vanished and reappeared in China. How did he make it up to there? I actually have no idea. Oh, thank you. Typhoons just put in the brace Sir Jamshid, run away, run away, run Sir Jamshid. Not bravely, cowardly run away. Typhoon is put in the chat box, guys. The trailer for Akharine Dastan. If you want to check that one out, I highly recommend it. So then Jamshid, had hidden himself away from the Serpent King, but could not escape him in the end. Jamshid is scared of Zahhak. He's terrified of him. When Zahhak had him in clutches, because Zahhak captured Jamshid, he gave him no time to plead his case, but had him sawn in two and filled the world with terror at his fate. Clutched in chains and sawn in two. I want to think Zahhak did this himself. This is what you get, pitiful and coward Jamshid. The reign of the Serpent King has officially started. Jamshid's throne and glory were at end, drawn away by time as umber draws away straw. And what profit to him were all the troubles he endured while he sat on the throne? He had lived for 700 years. 700? Jesus. He had lived for 700 years, bringing good and evil to light. But what good is a long life, since the world will never reveal her secrets to you? Her wine and honey will allay your fears, and her beguiling voices charm your ears. And when you're sure that she will never show evil to you, she strikes the fatal blow. The reign of the Serpent King has started. And do you want to know how long was this? Zahhak reigned for 1,000 years. And from end to end, the world was his command. The world was absolutely his. The wise concealed themselves and their deeds, and devils achieved their heart's desire. Virtue was despised and magic applauded. Do you remember what we're talking about when we talked about magic in one of our streams? That depending on who uses it, it can be very beneficial or very controversial. And in this case, because Zahhak is the one who's using magic, it's considered to be negative. But, you know, for example, Tahmures used magic to bind demons, and that was a good thing to do. However, Zahhak is not a good character, so everything magical related to him is negative. So, oh my god, yeah, everyone else does of old age. So Jamshid was the first king that was killed. Not really. Simurgh, Kayumar's son, was killed too by the black demon. But yes, Jamshid is the second in order to meet a fatal destiny. He's sawn in two. I shouldn't enjoy that as much as I do, but I do. I'm not going to hide that from you. I enjoy brutality. Yay! Oh, more tea. More tea is required. Demons rejoiced in their wickedness, while goodness was spoken only in secret. So guys, the world is officially a quilombo. The world is a mess. The world is a mess. It's a festival of demons and black magic and just wickedness going all around. Oh, and then we start. This is where the plot thickens. Stay with me. Stay with me. Two innocent young women were dragged from Jamshid's house, like from his family, trembling like the leaves of a willow tree. They were Jamshid's sisters, the crown among his womenfolk. And of these veiled women was Shāh-nāmeh, and her chaste sister was Arnavaz. So there is Shāh-nāmeh and Arnavos, which are two sisters. And Zahhak, oh, thank you for the follow. Zahhak trained them in magic and taught them evil ways, since he himself knew nothing but evil, murder, rapine, rape, and the burning of cities. Zahhak is on fire. So it's not enough. Let's just bear with me for a second. He has not just killed Jamshid, as in sawn Jamshid into, like, just cut him in two perfect parts. Now he's corrupting his family. He wants to make sure he destroys absolutely everything Jamshid's done for the world and what he's loved. So he's taken his sisters and he's turning them into evil sorcerers. How screw up is Zahhak in the head? How tormented is his soul to find only pleasure in these kind of activities? Such a good character! Each night, and this one, this part, whoa, this part. Each night, two young men, because Zahhak knew his taste, either peasants or of noble stock, doesn't matter, were brought to Zahhak's palace. There, in the hope of finding a cure for the king's sickness, they were killed and the brains made into a meal for the snakes. At the same time, there were two noble, upright men who lived in his realm. One was named Armael the Pious, and the other, Garmael the Perceptive. Together, they talked of the king's injustice and the evil manner in which he was nourished. One said, "We should go and present ourselves as cooks to the king, to see if we can save at least one of each pair who are killed to feed the snakes." So every single night, Zahhak has two young beautiful boys brought to him, doesn't matter from which part of society. They kill them, they cut their heads, pop out the brain, cook the brain and feed the snakes with it, because Zahhak really wants to believe what Iblis told him, disguised as an old doctor, that by eating that, the snakes would die and eventually disappear. But guys, it's been already 1,000 years and the snakes are stronger than ever. So don't make deals with the devil. Just don't. Even if they're offering nice food, just don't. Oh my god, I will be so doomed. I am like Zahhak. You give me food, you want to kiss my shoulders? Do it. Then Garmael and Armael, because in these, in these kind of poems, everybody has similar names, but that is in order to remember them properly and to make it easy to memorize who they are. They learned how to prepare numerous dishes. Is this a cookbook? Is this an epic poem? Is this supposed to be the Reign of Darkness, or is this a cookbook? Cooking Mama, Persian edition. They learned how to prepare numerous dishes and were accepted as cooks in the king's kitchens, because apparently Zahhak doesn't have a problem with hiring absolutely everybody as long as they can cook. See how much he relates to him? Oh my god. When the victims were dragged before the cooks and the time came for their blood to be spilled, the two men looked at each other with eyes filled with tears and with rage in their hearts. Unable to do more, they saved one of the two from the slaughter, substituting the brains of a sheep, the brain of the boy for the brain of a sheep, which they mixed with the brains of the man they killed. So these two, the cooks, what they did is that they only killed one boy, saved the other. And can you imagine how difficult would these be? How tearing and innerly destroying is this decision? Because you have two people and you can only save one. And then what they did was instead of two human brains, they brought one human brain and one sheep brain, and they mixed it together and they cook it and they gave that to the snakes. But still, you choosing which one to kill. How do you make that choice? How do you even start? Do you see how much shit is going on in Zahhak's reign? Nobody. Killing two boys every day for 1,000 years means 730,000 boys died, and Zahhak still thinks the snakes will go away. And at that point, you should try something else to kill them. I know, but perseverance. He perseveres. I don't know. I would have tried something different too, but maybe he liked that, like maybe he found some kind of kinkiness appealing into this, and I'm just gonna leave it there. And so they were able to rescue one of each pair, to whom they said, "Hide yourself away in the plains and mountains, far from the towns." In this way, they saved 30 victims a month, and when there were 200 of them, the cooks secretly gave them goats and sheep and showed them a deserted area where they could live. The Kurds who never settle in towns are descended from these men. So this is a very beautiful story about how the Kurds came to be, according to the Shāh-nāmeh. The Kurds are the descendants of these people saved from Zahhak and from Zahhak snakes. And yeah, they just gave them some ship and tell them where to go in the mountains. And it's beautiful because what they told them, what the cooks told these people, was to just go away from cities, go away from towns, because you would be recognized and you will be found and dragged back here. And believe me, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be something you want to happen. So this is an explanation of nomadic people, why nomadic tribes do not settle. And I think it's a beautiful explanation, even though it's a little bit, you know, the beginning is not that heartwarming, but the explanation for why people don't settle down, why certain people don't settle down, I like it though. It's because they're running away from the Serpent King. I just love it. And I'm not gonna go down political aisle right now. We're not gonna speak of the Kurds and blah blah blah, but yeah, just wanted to know that. That's so neat. Indeed, this book is so neat. So we're getting towards the end of what we'll be reading today. Meanwhile, Zahhak reigned ever more cruelly. If a warrior had a beautiful daughter hidden away in his house, Zahhak would accuse him of consorting with demons and kill him. Some hypocrisy here, don't you think, Zahhak? Or maybe you want exclusivity. You are the only one who can treat with demons. The rest can't. And have the girl brought to him as a slave. He acted without regard of the customs of kings or the laws of religion. However, everything changed when Zahhak saw a young boy in his dreams. And this is where we're going to stop. Cliffhanger! I love ending the parts like this. Oh, where's my mark? We're going to stop here, but actually we're going to talk a little bit more about who is Zahhak and why is he important. So, where does Zahhak come from? In fact, it's very interesting because Zahhak comes from an ancient Zoroastrian monster called Aji or Azi, which is a dragon. The Aji, there's a lot of Aji in Avestan texts, and there's a lot of dragons, of these kind of dragons in Zoroastrian legends. And this is, and everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah, this is one of them. Like Aji is just a way of referring to a dragon, but these kind of dragons are understood as giant snakes, like very, very large snakes. No, don't think about dragons as the European dragon with wings and breathing fire. No. These Iranian dragons are snakes, and they have normally relation to certain areas, for example, mountains, for example, the thunderstorm, or caves, and some masses, like some masses of water. And it's very interesting because Aji is the root of the current word in Persian to say dragon, which is Ejdaha. And Ejdaha is also the name of the dragon Zahhak is based on, whose name was Aji Dahaka. Aji Dahaka is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, dragon in Zoroastrian legends. And I'm not going to tell you the story because I don't want to spoil it to you. We'll be covering it coming soon to theaters, coming soon in your next stream of Las Plumas de Simurgh. But it is such a relevant character for Zoroastrian legends. No wings, just giant snakes. They crawl, and they can go underground, and they can, despite they just crawl, they can climb mountains, and they can access very difficult points on Earth. Yeah, they're very strong, and they have a lot of dark energy, what was considered dark energy at the time, which is called Druch. Yeah, they're super cool creatures. I think I'm planning on making a live stream on just Zoroastrian dragons, because they are extremely amazing. However, they are not ever considered benevolent creatures. They are always negative animals. Always. There's no difference. There is no exception for them. And this brings us to another trope, which is fantastic, and I really like it personally, which is the dragon killing. The dragon killing was a kind of a ritual for cleansing the land of evil, but again, we will cover that in the following episodes when it is relevant for the story. Ajidahaka, which is Zahhak's inspiration, was a great creature, and because he was a very big snake, this is the reason Zahhak is considered to have two black snakes sprouting from his shoulders. You know, I really like how they made the connection with the ancient legends, because actually, and even in Zoroastrian text itself, you can see the shift from Ajidahaka, which is a monster, and they sadly, slowly but steadily, it turned into a man. So this is something very important to state. It's not that Ferdowsi made up Zahhak as a human. No. We have Dahag, or all the names for him, in Zoroastrian texts already, before the Shāh-nāmeh was written, and there Dahag or Dajjag is referred to as a man, an Arab man with incredible dark powers. He is powerful. You have no idea. And I really want to emphasize this, as in Zahhak, both in the book and just gathering up his heritage from Zoroastrian legends, is the embodiment not just of evil, which of course, but of dark power and of corruption, because he's not the devil. He's not the devil himself. However, he was corrupted by the devil and destroyed entirely, and everything started from here, from just a bad thought, and the fact that he chose to listen to the wrong person, which was Iblis. So no, we're not talking about Harry Potter, I'm afraid. We are talking about the Book of Kings and Zoroastrian legends, which are Iranian. I don't see any connection here with Harry Potter. Maybe there is, I have no idea. But I'm not a very big Harry Potter fan, I'm sorry. But yeah, all the mythologies, not just the Western, have so cool and so amazing episodes and creators. So yeah, I really like how they took the dragon, slowly turned it into a man, and they got him to embody and represent everything that was wrong and could go wrong with a person who just made not the proper decisions at the time. And yeah, at this point you've seen Zahhak. He could be redeemed at first. Now he cannot be redeemed. He's just evil for the sake of being evil, which is something that I enjoy a lot, because I like evil characters. And he's so well constructed, because he's not just evil, he is tortured inside. He's just imagine living your life with two deadly demon snakes on your shoulders, because this is not like cat's nails, like, hey, they just come up and down. No, they are there permanently. You live your life with two snakes, and I think I've forgotten to say this, but if you do not, have I said that? I don't think I have. But if they didn't feed the snakes, bad thoughts, bad words, bad deed, exactly. If they didn't feed the snakes would destroy Zahhak and kill him. Demon snakes we're talking about here. Like, I don't think you want to mess with that, and you want to just to please them. So yeah, oh my god, such a cool character. Zahhak is such a cool character. I really, really like him. What is that, Nukas? Is Zahhak more lawful or chaotic evil? In this case, I think it could be both. Zahhak could be both, lawful and chaotic. because he's ruling, so he's a king and knows how to rule a country, but he's chaotic in his madness as well, because, for example, he doesn't care about killing people every single day for him to be cured of something that after 1,000 years one might think is proven already that it just doesn't work. And for the, you know, I brought a surprise for you. There is something I want to show you and share with you. My patrons already know what this is, but there exists, oh, come here, Aziz, behind you. There exists this wonderful book, which is called Zahhak, The Legend of the Serpent King, and it's a pop-up book. Did you have like these kind of books going growing up? I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we have Zahhak, and this is Iblis. These guys are, oh, thank you for the follow. This is Iblis disguised as a very old man, and, you know, just pretending to give advice to Prince Zahhak, which is just sitting here. This is a beautiful masterpiece. It's just like, oh, here we have more things. Here we have Merdās. Can you see Merdās? This over here, this one over here is Merdās, and this one over there is Zahhak. And you see how carefully and smartly they put the shadow of two demon snakes behind him. It's amazing, this book. I was after him for so long. What else could we see? What else could we see? Oh yeah, the cook. We can see the part of the cook. Are you ready for this? I hope I can hold it properly. 1, 2, 3. Aha! There we have him. To Zahhak giving. Can you see the cook? Where's the cook? Oh yeah, the cook is here. Just like, you know, sneaking over there. This is the shape of the cook. And the moment he kisses his shoulders, and you know, you can see the snake over there. This is difficult. You can see the snake over there, and the moment he kisses Zahhak, he disappears. I think this is just amazing. Just a fine work of art. It's just, I love it. So this book summarizes the story of the Serpent King. And I'm just gonna, it's on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon too. And is by Hamid Rahmanian, which is made already a beautiful edition of the Shāh-nāmeh. With I really like his technique, because what he does, for example, let's take the image here. What he does is he works with real manuscripts. He searches for real manuscripts, and then with Photoshop and all the editing tools, he modifies the images to create new images and new iconography, but always based on real, historical, accurate manuscripts. And I think that is fantastic. This is such a fine work of art, and I am very happy. If you guys can just Google, can you Google it and leave the link in the chat? If you're watching this on YouTube, you will have the link in the description below, but can somebody right now put the link in the chat box, please? Just gonna leave it here. I just want to share it with you because I think it's fantastic. Is there any historic correspondence for the Arab characters in the mythic part of the book? No, not that we are aware. No, not really. At this moment, the historical accounts from what was happening in Arab lands has nothing, very little to do with the Shāh-nāmeh. The mythical part is more recreating a new past, like a past from scratch, but it's not based in any historical event that we know of. So no, not really. It's up the sun, but it's raining. So right now it's raining, but the sun is out. Okay. So this is us for today. Oh, I'm just gonna close the curtain for a moment. This is us for today, guys. Thank you for joining me in the stream. It's been a pleasure. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, Helena. Thank you for doing that. Hamid Rahmanian, The Legend of the Serpent King. Yes, that is exactly what I was talking about. Thank you so much for doing that. Guys, thank you for joining me in this live stream afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the first part of the reign of Zahhak, the evil Serpent King. I am not lying when I tell you that I love this so much, and I cannot wait for us to finish this so I can tell you the whole story behind it, like the Zoroastrian creator that's behind Zahhak. And I can tell you what happens after, because it is so great. This whole arc in the Shāh-nāmeh is fantastic. I really like Zahhak. I think the poem really reflects how he's tortured inside, and how he just knows no way of doing things that is not evil, and he just kills and murders and tortures and rapes just because he doesn't know any better. It's just just the thought of him with the snakes every single day of his life reminded him that he's doomed and he's failed. These two snakes are an embodiment of his failure as a person and as a king. Just put that in your head, guys. I just like it so much. But yeah, thank you so much to the new people joining there. It's a pleasure meeting you. My name is Laura, and I stream about Iran and Mesopotamia's culture. And we have fun here, don't we? Thank you so much to everybody who subscribed, and thank you to my patrons who are they're all there, they're always there for me. And of course, thank you to all of you guys, because I'm starting to recognize few of you. It's a pleasure to me seeing that every single time that I switch and I just go live, I have you there, because we have a tiny Twitch family and I really like it. So thank you. I wouldn't be here if it was not for you. It makes me very happy that you guys enjoy the content I produce. So who could ever ask for more? I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you drink loads and loads of delicious beverages. May it be tea or whatever. But if it's tea, it's better. Yeah, it's better if it's tea. My school class and I to say goodbye for now. I hope you have a great, fantastic week, and yeah, you know, all being well, I will see you soon. If you want to stay tuned to updates of on the streams, you can follow me on any of my social media, and I will be happy to see you there. Bye guys, take care, and wash your hands and wear the mask, please. Wash your hands, wear the mask, and just be happy.